Yes.
So let's go through what I believe to be, as we get ourselves all fired up, top 5 storylines heading into this year.
And we want to know what yours are at 888-957-9570.
What's your number one?
Number one, and outside of quarterback, so you can't use Purdy, Lance, Darnold.
We're all going to say that.
We're all going to say that. What are your top storylines around the league at 888-957-9570 as it pertains to the 49ers?
All right, let's start with number 5. You ready to go? We'll go backwards.
Let's
we'll
go.
work our way. Number 5.
Number 5.
All right.
Number five.
Oh, sorry, Sammy. You did it too. There you go. Double number 5. 55.
Bobby Saleh. They hit on him.
Yeah.
All right. It started off rocky, but they hit on him. He went on to be a head coach somewhere else with the Jets. Now we'll see what ends up happening there.
Hard Knocks. Can't wait.
Then they hired D'Amico Ryans from within, who was on Bobby Saleh's staff, and they hit a grand slam with D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans is now gone, and they've gone for the first time outside of the organization.
It's true.
And they're bringing in Steve Wilkes. And it's going to be similar defensive strategies, but there's going to be some newer concepts. Can you hit 3 times in a row on the other side of the ball, Kyle Shanahan? The one thing that I think he does better that no one talks about is he hires a hell of a staff. They're not perfect, but he does a really good job reloading.
And he gets these guys paid.
Absolutely.
He does. He certainly does.
So
man.
number 5 is, can you hit on your 3rd consecutive defensive coordinator? Because that's asking a lot.
That is asking a lot. And Steve Wilkes, he's had success. Listen, he got a raw deal in Arizona, man. That whole Josh Rosen debacle, he was one and done. He didn't have a chance with that roster. They get rid of him,
right?
Flip him for who was it? Cliff Kingsbury.
Yep.
They get Kyler. The rest is history. Now they're resetting again, and Kyler might be on the way out there. And they might bring in Caleb Williams. That actually is a little twist of fate that I even think about. Josh Rosen coming in rookie year, new guy takes over. Gone. Kyler come in.
Crazy.
Kyler maybe out for the year. Hey, see you later. We get Caleb Williams. Could happen.
Look at D'Amico Ryans, whether it's because of him or because of Bosa, everyone gets credit when you get Defensive Player of the Year. You're inheriting a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
You're inheriting one of the top 3 linebackers in the game. You're inheriting an all-pro safety in Talanoa Hufanga.
Stacked.
You're inheriting the top free agent in the secondary over the last couple of years in Charvarius Ward. There's a lot of talent. You're inheriting one of the top paid defensive linemen in the game in Javon Hargraves, Eric Armstead. There's a lot of talent. If this DC coordinator thing goes sideways, aren't we looking a lot different at this Niner team?
We are. And ultimately that comes down on the head coach, right?
Absolutely.
Like we're going to sit here and try to I'm not going to sit here and try to blame Steve Wilkes, all this sort of stuff, because a lot of people will. Comes down to Kyle Shanahan's road.
Do you believe the coordinator job for DC on this defense, do you think it's plug and play?
Yeah, kind of. Like, right?
Like I could put just about anyone in there and you're going to be successful?
Yeah, but I will say this. When you're going up against like the best of the best in the playoffs,
schemes
you
matter.
will need wrinkles.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching going back to this quarterback doc on Netflix. Patrick Mahomes was talking with, I forget who it was, Lou someone, DC for the Bengals, right?
Uh-huh.
Throws in a lot of different wrinkles that really give him a hard time. So that's why they had lost 3 times in a row prior to winning last year's AFC Championship against the Bengals. But yeah, wrinkles matter when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I think Steve Wilkes will bring that. Listen, he did well in Carolina when given the opportunity. A lot of those guys in that locker room wanted him to be the head coach.
Brian
not
Burns
Frank
excelled
Reich.
with him.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting.
That's a good call. That's a really good call. All right, number 4. These are our top 5 non-quarterback storylines for the 49ers, in my view, heading into the year. And I want to hear from you guys. Line them up.
4.
I want to rat-a-tat-tat these. 888-957-9570. Is this the last year of this core? Trent Williams is getting up there. George Kittle, tight ends, they've got a shelf life. You've seen a lot of good tight ends bounce around. Travis Kelce notwithstanding. Deebo Samuel owed a lot of money moving forward.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. You see what's going on with the running back market.
Man.
Running back could be done. It's like a starting pitcher. You could be like DeGrom.
It's interesting, too, because the tight ends, it feels like you're getting a plethora of talent each and every draft.
Right.
Like, that's the position that's sexy. It was wide receiver just a couple years ago. You think of that stacked draft. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, Jefferson, and we had Ruggs. Obviously, what happened there.
What if the
Ayuk?
Like, you're 100% right. What if the quarterback position, for the last year of this core, what if the quarterback position just sinks this team this year?
Man.
What if they're hurt again? Can they do it back-to-back years and overcome injured quarterbacks or maybe underperforming? Like, no one wants to admit, what if Brock just has like a sophomore slump?
Could happen.
Stuff happens.
And then you go to
what
Trey
if the
Lance?
offensive line isn't good?
Man, there's a lot. There's a lot here. And we want to know your storylines, your top 5, or it doesn't have to be top, just one storyline outside of the quarterback one, because that's the main one. What's a big storyline you are looking for in the San Francisco 49ers this season? 888-957-9570. Comcast Business text line. Also hit us up on Twitch and on YouTube.
All right, number 3, Ayuk and Debo. Ayuk wants a new contract. Everyone loves Ayuk. He's a beautiful route runner. He's been frustrated, I think, with his role and just in general with where he's, getting the ball on the field, which is totally natural.
Was in the doghouse just a few years ago.
Absolutely. And then Deebo Samuel. Doggy, you were amazing in the Seattle Seahawks playoff game. Where was that guy during the regular season?
Yeah.
He had a bad year by Debo standards.
Did, and it didn't start good either. The holdout, all this sort of the scrubbing of the social media, it was very contentious. And then obviously we just had that interview just recently, Deebo Samuel. And man, one of the all-time, I'll find the drops here in a second, but just all-time drops from there.
Deebo Samuel.
Sorry, I thought you were going to play.
No, I thought you were going to play too.
You're good. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Deebo Samuel had a bad year.
Working through it.
By what we believe him to be, an absolute stud, a bad year. But him and Ayuk, I'm looking at the two of them because I think if both of those guys have big years, that tells me the quarterback is healthy.
Absolutely.
That tells me one of these guys, Purdy, stays healthy all year and becomes the guy we all want him to be and establishes himself. Maybe it's Darnold. Maybe it's Trey. I don't know. But I think if both those guys have great years, I think the Niners offense is top 5 in the league.
They're so stacked at so many positions. It's really unbelievable that this is a championship roster. The only thing, again, it all comes back, and this is the top 5 non-quarterback storylines, but it all comes back to the quarterback. And is Brock Purdy going to be that dude to take this team to the next level? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Sam freaking Darnold? So it's interesting to think about the wide receiver aspect. Real quick here on the Comcast Business text line, they're giving us their top storylines outside of the quarterback position. Are they going to be without Robbie Gould? That's an interesting, underrated. Real quick though, it's not going to make the top 5. Robbie Gould had a lot of clutch kicks for this team.
He also couldn't kick anything outside of the 25-yard line.
But you're drafting a rookie kicker.
Yeah, I know.
Kickers can cost you games, Joe Shasky.
I acknowledge that.
So that's not going to be top 5.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one to do that. This is the one I brought up before the game, and I think it's interesting, and maybe you're going to come up to it. Christian McCaffrey.
I'll get to that.
Okay, well, keep on that one.
We'll get to that right now. Number 2, my number 2 non-quarterback 49er storyline. Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa. Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa. Unbelievable banner seasons carrying their side of the ball last year. Can they do an encore? What has Bosa got cooked up after winning the DPOY? He's going to have a new contract extension. You know he's going to be the highest paid player in the league. Expectations are going to be massive. Yes. How do you even back up a season like you had last year? And then CMC. Maybe one of the greatest 49er trades of all time. You can say Fred Dean, I'll listen to that. You want to say the trade up to get Jerry Rice? Obviously. I'm talking about in-season.
In-season.
One of the greatest in-season trades across sports. Is CMC going to be the MVP of this team this year? The MVP of the league?
The MVP of the league is what we're looking at, Joe Shasky.
Does it even matter who the quarterback is if you have CMC?
Do you know the last time, and Sam Lubin, you looked this up, when was the last time an NFL running back won MVP? Was Adrian Peterson, right?
I think it was Adrian Peterson in 2012.
2012. Prior to that, I'm sure it was like Sean Alexander or something. It's unbelievable.
I got to first base last night in our softball game, and one of the guys turns to me and he goes, I don't even think it matters who plays quarterback. I go, why? And he goes, they got CMC, doggy. I'm telling you right now, CMC, top 3 every single fantasy draft.
Man, at least the injury concerns are still there. I know, right? Well, I'm trying to think of another running back. Who am I taking in front of him? Right? Like, in this offense?
Who's more important? And this is a quick
question. Who's going to get more touches? No, that's the thing. It's all about touches in fantasy. Who's going to get the most touches? It's Christian McCaffrey, without a doubt.
Plus.
Right?
20 plus.
Yes.
I'm telling you, McCaffrey. Dude, the Niners have Christian McCaffrey. It still hasn't sunk in.
I mean, it's pretty wild. Again, we're getting a lot. I'm surprised we're getting a lot on the Comcast Business text line here about the rookie kicker. It's like, how can you have Super Bowl aspirations to have a rookie kicker? Has a team ever even won a Super Bowl with a rookie kicker? 888-957-9570.
Yeah, Gostkowski.
Was
Didn't
he
they win
rookie?
it all when
Steven
he was a rookie?
Gostkowski? Maybe.
The year after Vinatieri
He
when
was-
he went to Indy?
And he was really good.
I
You're
could be
right.
wrong.
You could be wrong. We could be right.
The
888-957-9570.
storyline for me that's not the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. and
Number
this is the
one.
one it's going to take all year.
Thanks, Mark.
It's going to take all year. And I think it's the most important one. Is Kyle ever going to win this big one?
Man. That is the storyline, right?
I know this guy's excellent. I know he is. I don't want to get rid
He's
of him.
smarter than you, Joe Shasky.
I think
Everyone
he's
knows
one
it.
of the top minds the game has ever
Yeah.
seen. Is he perfect? No. Damn it. 29 other teams would line up to take him in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Can Kyle just shut everyone up who's a naysayer and win the big one? I just want one Super Bowl.
Can Kyle win the big game?
Only God knows.
Only God knows when it comes to Kyle Shanahan.